Hello, all of you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is 2 Point Campus. We are continuing Blundergrad, where we are training the spies of tomorrow. And things are not going great. We've got a lot to do here.
Students are reminded that there's no such thing as free time.
Alright, let's... Oh, right, I still need to get 2 more teachers. And don't really have any money to do so. I could have sworn I got those teachers already, though. Oh, no worries, Guru. See you later.
Later, Guru.
Janitor needed to unblock toilets. Lovely.
Sell some of those. Sell this. That should let me get what I need. None of them are good. General knowledge. None of these ones are good. This one will work.
Required in bathroom.
I need another dark arts teacher. Please pop up. There we go. Ah, a good one. Perfect. Start next year. I have no money. Oh, there you are, Gib Gab. Come join voice. You missed one heck of a session.
I'm DJ Shorts.
We were wondering what happened to you.
We were.
It's been too long, and I've been
Go figure
dying
you
to
just
play
passed
this
out like a
next song.
scrub.
See if you notice
Yeah.
what they do on the 9th bar in the second verse.
Gibble gabble.
Oh, it's really
My
something.
schedule
We'll
is
be back
kind of
after
messed
this.
up. Normally I don't sleep at these hours, but the last few days I've been sleeping at these hours, trying to wrangle my sleep schedule back. And I was like, I can stay up for WoW traditions, it's fine. I couldn't. At some point, and like, cause earlier we'd made like really thick milkshakes, so that plus like the irregular sleep hours just zonked me out completely. I woke up and I was like, I literally woke up and the first thing I said was fuck.
Now taking students.
Been there,
And
done
that's
that,
the
but
swear
not for
jar.
something like this.
What was that, Sim?
That's the swear jar.
That's cringe. You're cringe. The session couldn't have ended that shortly ago, SMH.
It did. We went a little later tonight.
That's fine, I get to cheat anyway.
Oh?
Truly, this is the dankest dungeon.
Oh,
Jibgab tipped $5.
What's up?
I wrote fuck you with a little sad face and it removed it.
Oh.
A sad censorship SMH my
We're
head.
more afraid of you than you are of us.
I'd censor you, to be fair.
Wow. I'd censor myself to be fair.
What is this? I've got like the god tier machine run. I spawned in a corner of the map. There's only the custodians near me. I've got I have both of the Marauder fleets, it looks like. You know, blocking off one areas. And other than that, not a single person, not a single other empire, and I got the Cybrex.
Nice.
Literally the god run.
After the horrible run I first had, I started up a hive run, and it's actually gone better than I expected. I literally started off completely boxed in by a
Who even goes to
planetary
this
computer
union?
and one of my two
When I want a
guaranteed
milkshake,
worlds being guarded by
don't
like a
want that pint of milk
25k
made.
fleet
It's
in the
so
system.
artificial. I just can't take it anymore.
So I
I'd
cheated
much
by
rather
like
go a
tiptoeing
little
around
off
the
the
edge
beaten
of the
path
system
and
till I
try
actually
something
get out
local.
of that little
And
box.
preferably very lumpy.
And my empire
Anything
was like
from the
split in
stoic chain
two.
of dairy and
And then
smuggling is
like
sure
the
to be nice
second
and
chunk of it
separated.
was split apart
Now
by
that's
the
a
like
milkshake.
EA traders spawning in the perfect choke point to block me off, so I had to like go over them and get a third separate chunk of the empire. And then I got boxed in by like 3 AI that spawned literally right next to me, so I was completely boxed in as a hive mind. And I was just being like, well, this is doomed. But then I found like a 25 size relic world and a bunch of habitable planets, and I like power build habitability early, so I was able to take like 6-7 planets early on, and that like completely revived the run. And ever since then, it's just been like, okay, how can I get out of being boxed in this hard? And it was way more fun than I expected. I even got to kill the chosen ones.
They deserve it, those guys.
Yeah, that's why I did it. They're stinky.
They are like the stinkiest faction.
Yes. But yeah. The moment I heard like you say that Caldarius said that whatever he was gonna do was gonna give Narashi a headache, I was like, I can't miss this one, and I missed it.
Your body is a
Like,
temple, and you wouldn't fill a temple with crisps.
what
I
to
don't
do
think-
with my life?
I don't think Taldarius ever got around to doing it either. That's the best part.
Yeah, we kind of had things happen. I wasn't planning on things happening, but things happened.
That sounds like a spicier thing, and even the storyteller's just like, I didn't think this had happened, but this happened. Oh dear.
Oh hey, I found another empire finally. They're on the other side of these marauders I just found.
Oh yeah, the Khan actually spawned for once in a while. He bodied like literally half the galaxy. I was sitting in my little cluster of systems boxed in.
Mhm.
The good thing is that it let me just absolutely power drive into tech. And once I took the planetary computer, it was over for the rest of everything, right?
Oh yeah, because you just had that fat research.
And I was only setting on like 3 systems that I was guarding. And mind you, I have 100% habitability on the planetary computers because I'm power built habitability, and then I went genetics, so I have like I can literally go to any random world and I have 100% habitability. It's disgusting. But yeah, so I'm sitting there in my little systems. I have 3 heavily built up choke points. And then I look over to see that the 2 empires next to me have been vassalized, even though they're like half a galaxy away from the Khan. And I look over to see what was once the strongest empire in the galaxy literally be like 3 systems in a corner. And the rest of it is the Khan. And I'm like,
That's-
oh no.
Set his alarms, but then Some hours later,
The con kill you?
disaster struck.
No. The con
It
killed
was
half
as
the
he finished
galaxy.
his paper that he
I
realized
sat there
he
with
hadn't been using a
three
pen.
20k fleets
He thought he
guarding
was
3
dotting
choke
I's and
points
crossing T's.
that were all like fully
Sadly,
built up
he was
citadels
just
with
making
defense
gestures
stations,
with his
albeit
hand
very few defense
over a
stations.
piece of paper.
And I managed to
It's a
successfully
nightmare for
hold
so
those
many
3
of us,
choke points.
but today, it was
The most
versus reality.
intense holding action I've ever had in Stellaris because it was literally like do or die. I mean, I could have like submitted, but I was feeling very bratty, so you know that didn't work out. I didn't kill them. Thankfully enough that the actual Khan didn't ever come to my systems. He just like threw himself at some hostile ancient guardian thing and died to it twice, which is very funny.
Oh wait, the ancient guardians from ACOT?
Yeah.
The gatekeeper? That's funny.
He
Wow,
threw
wait,
himself at one like twice and died to it.
he died to a fucking neutral enemy. That's funny. I mean, they do get mad. They do get mad eventually, but like, still.
I mean, they're all hostile as far as I've seen them.
The ones that, cause you have the ACOT mods, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're neutral at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, they were not neutral.
They don't once a certain amount of time has gone by, essentially the shielding around the things they're guarding weakens, so they go, okay, now we gotta throw hands.
I see.
They're very funny to kill.
Oh, and the religious fallen emperor awoke. I've been staring at it continuing to eat territory, and I'm like,
Eating rubbish a reminder
this is gonna be a me problem, but I'll worry about it later. The problem
You're gonna need more moons.
well, the problem is I made a little mistake in taking out the chosen ones because it like gave me a ton of pops and it ballooned my empire size all of a sudden.
Kill them
So
all.
my research for the last like 40 or 50 years slowed down significantly,
Purge them.
and it's been annoying me a lot. Well, I don't know how to lower it more. It's at 1700, and I'm already sitting on like multiple discounts to it. What's up, Zip?
I can't actually make grass in this one.
Crats?
Grass.
Oh. What's that? I'm a gamer, I don't know what that is.
It's something I've been told you're supposed to go touch on occasion.
Oh, imagine going outside as an H.
janitor needed to unblock
I know,
toilets.
right?
Lovely.
Disgusting. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take all of these habitats and colonize them and make them really small so that like I just fill them up with pop growth. And then I can like feed that pop growth elsewhere. Feeder habitat time. Poggies.
At Milkmaid, we use real dairy-style ingredients in our milkshakes for a level of consistency that just isn't natural. Meaning that every glass of Milkmaid is eerily
Of
similar
course
to the
one of you would
last.
want one of those.
Milkmaid.
Ugh.
Good milk.
Hat.
Supper.
Not technically milk.
It's okay, Zen. Don't worry.
I found a white dwarf star. Fuck yeah, I don't know what I can do with that, but I've got one.
What kind of surprises me is I've just now realized how much like Gigas ate into my late game research with ACOT. Because
Oh,
after
yeah.
after the little nap, I'm sitting here like I'm at 2400 and I'm 2442 and I'm basically still starting the dark matter stuff. I mean, I know it's taking forever because my empire size is too big, but like also, Jesus, why is it taking so long? Just don't have enough pops. It's the stupid scaling system for the logistics just makes my pops take forever.
Yeah, remember that, Gib Gab. The campus grounds are not a toilet.
Aha, I poo in the corner.
Sounds like something Gib Gab would do.
Yeah,
I don't know how
filthy
I feel about
bird.
that.
Fucking birds.
I'm gonna poop on your car now.
Joke's on you, I don't have one.
You will. Eventually. You live in America.
That don't mean jack squat.
Everyone will need a car someday.
Alert, I found some more
Janitor
random
needed
crap.
to unblock toilets. Lovely.
Also, I
There's-
discovered the power of the Hive World.
Hive worlds are so fucking good.
It's like the Machine World, but slightly worse, but also, it's, you know, darn. Nice.
I found the last thing I need to get to Cyprex. Give me the free ring world. Free.
Wing blocked. So that's still body weaponization. That's what I want.
Pretty good one to want. I'll give you that.
You've been waiting for this, and now
I've been
you
like
have.
fetching for
Finally
it the
gonna talk about the
last
boogie
big
nights.
chunk of the game.
I'm sure I didn't need to tell you that I was
Very much
actually
trying to
in on
get
the
it.
group of funky nights very, very early, and I thought they were a real bright spot in the county's music scene. But I must say, I'm just not enjoying them as much these days. I mean, really.
The good thing
I
is
know
that
I
with
like
the
them, but they just shouldn't be this popular. Another
mod for
perfectly excellent
the
obscure
buildings,
band ruined by too many fans.
the game
It's
gives
just
you
selfish.
a
It
lot
really
of building
is.
slots as for your Hive World. It's very satisfying.
Yep.
Man, now I'm wishing I did, I did go play Stellaris. But it's okay. We got Agents of Reflection tomorrow.
True. I can't wait. I also have slightly bad, slightly good news for you about that. The
What?
good news is that I still think we Gucci for taking the gun from the guy, but on the bad news is I was thinking about it, and I think if the guy asked nicely, Sammy would give it back. So basically somebody needs to take care of him so that he doesn't just be like, hey, can you give me the gun you stole from me? I feel like really bad about it. And he's gonna be like, oh, I feel bad about it, here you go. And he'll probably get shot.
No, I'm pretty sure Kashel's the one that will get shot.
You know, not unlikely. Kashel's cool, but he has like a very shootable face.
Ouch.
I say that in the nicest way.
How?
You can say that in the nicest way. I don't know. I'm not saying it in like a bad way. I'm just saying, you know.
No, I'm gonna need an explanation on how that is nice.
Well, like, it just means you have a very memorable face. And being memorable is good. Right, chat?
Huh.
Something like that, I don't know.
So, Gibgab wants to shoot me. Got it.
I wouldn't ever shoot you.
I've just been
can't use the gun yet.
sitting here building Corvettes for a while now, Gib.
That sounds concerning.
Yup. Oh, I'm going down a crisis route later. Like
Nice.
we're going down the OG crisis. Like I'm gonna be a problem.
As one should always be.
Well, we finally have a student lounge for you all. Quote for Sammy's next elevator experience. You'll have to go into a life of crime. But I can't do that. That's illegal.
Yeah. Unironically. You joke, but that's actually genuinely what he'd tell you.
I am like this guy needs to be he's cordial with me. Cool. I'm gonna hit you with improve relations and then close my borders. Like, granted, my navy is going to dumpster this man if he tries to throw hands.
But or just it that it is.
Yeah. Oh, the organic singularity didn't happen. Wow, I think that's the first time it didn't. Neat.
I mean, look, let's face it, like, organics are completely doomed against a hive mind for most of the time. Like, if a hive mind appeared tomorrow on Earth and try to take over, humans would be such a disaster to respond if nuking it didn't work. Like, it's Jover, what do you do?
Nuke ourselves.
Probably not wrong. It's the worst part.
I mean, that's what I would do. I'd be like, fuck it. If he wants to take over, he can take over my dead body.
If we can't have our bodies, no one can.
Yes, unironically. That is my logic. Hey, Spitadels.
Craving students might want to try something else.
Oh yeah, my early game was clutched so hard. Because the AI gave me the greatest gift it could have ever given me.
What?
I did a trade with like the caravaner, and they offered me 3 pops, and they would give me the ability to build a building called the Waste Reprocessing Center. I was struggling for minerals pretty badly at that time, and I accepted it out of curiosity because I saw the bonus. I thought I could build one in my empire. I could build one in every planet. It gives me 10 energy, 10 minerals, 5 amenities, and 2 tech jobs. But like that flat 10-10 mineral energy across like 7 worlds in the early game where I was struggling really bad with minerals. Oof. Genuinely clutch.
Some charming, if a little familiar, woodland creatures from a nearby forest are asking if we can conduct some research to find out why they can speak. Sure.
Wait, they are asking if
Isn't that one movie with the with like the possum and the raccoon and the squirrel that can't have caffeine?
That's Over the Hedge, and they weren't really asking why they could speak.
No, but that's the movie I thought of.
It just seems like a Shrek reference.
I mean, that's fair.
But maybe I'm too much of a zoomer, so I just hear something like that and I think of Shrek instead of something normal.
I mean, Gab, we all know you're not normal.
I appreciate it. I'll take the compliment.
Harrison Wolf Show, baby. All right.
I mean, I could be doing a normal thing like watching Ages of Reflection and hearing or watching Alternation Scenery and playing Stellaris.
This is Harrison Wolf, bringing you the Harrison Wolf Power Hour.
Subspace Echoes is for Thorin, right?
Correct.
Learn so and so.
My God, I keep getting for Thorin. Jesus.
Qualification that.
Punch them in the doohickey.
It's a scam.
Oh God, and I am on the edge of the galaxy. That's concerning.
Are you on the edge of the galaxy the subspace echoes are coming from?
I don't know. We'll
Oh.
find out.
Good fucking luck, scrub.
Yeah,
Dude, I hope they land on your homeworld just because of how funny that would be.
To be fair, I think I'd be able to take them out. I think.
Oh, that was weird.
Okay. 15 of those.
Code for subspace vipers.
Subspace of vipers. What?
Well, apparently the subspace vipers were trying to fuck someone.
That sounds about right.
I respect that. There's some proper survivor hustling right there.
Requests, not demands.
Alright, we are about to double the strength of this fleet. Did I just blow most of my alloys and a lot of other resources and am about to max out my naval capacity? Yes. Do I care? No, because there's a fractured world, a size 25 fractured world that I want, and I will take by military force.
Heck yeah.
I can't even do anything with it right now. That's the best part.
Heck yeah.
But it is also kind of blocking my way.
Students with pastoral issues.
Hear about
should
that
go
thing
to
down here.
student Support.
Blocking your way, so it's a kill.
That typo of yours means that someone fused an Eevee and a Seviper? Uh-oh. Is
Ew.
that Narashi's future?
Narashi will kill herself before that happens.
Alright, Zim, you know what to do. A vision scene. They see the future, and this is what Rashi's future is.
No, he took the fucking system, you son of a... You whore.
We've all been quizzed at school, but what
I was gonna
really
lock him in.
happens
Fine, I'll
during
go
a
around.
test? You get a question, you write down your answer, and then some
Guy
bozo
won't,
tells you
son of
that
a
you're
bastard.
wrong. But who's to say they're
Question,
right?
did you?
What's so great about their
Yeah,
answers? If
they did
we've
close
all got
borders
the
to me.
same
Okay.
answers, then what's the point of there being so many of us, huh? I tell you, it's a crime that they make kids take their tests. Not a real criminal kind of crime, of course, but it's majorly uncool, and that's the kind of crime.
Nova DNA DNA evolve with Narashi? Yeah, I don't know about that.
Good thing we're not Digimon.
It sounds cursed.
It sure does.
So that's why you want it to happen there, Gib Gab?
I don't
You know,
think.
I realized I could be even more cringe. You can just build marginal worlds by terraforming lifeless planets in my my choke points. And I'm gonna make marginal worlds. I think. That's the goal. Yes, that was on purpose. That was a deliberate non-answer.
Failing students should work smarter and harder.
Generate over 100 essentially true statements for another edition of the moderately popular trivia series. 101 fine facts. Oh no, I don't want that. There's one that gives me money. Monster Mystery. Members of the local cryptozoology club are concerned that most classic monsters have been made friendly and normal due to overexposure in popular culture. Unearth some obscure monsters for them to get enthused about. Sure, I'll take the money.
Oh boy, they're spawning basically on my vassal. Not close, but not far. How do I refit to best annihilate them?
Medical issues can interfere with your studies. Go to the nurse and get back to work.
Don't missiles don't torpedoes obliterate them?
Probably not, because they have a lot of strike
Oh,
craft,
maybe
if I remember.
And so you need a lot of point defense, and you need a lot of armor and hull damage.
So I'm double checking.
So what? Plasma?
Da-da-da. Yeah, they're just being natural armor. So probably, yeah, basically full energy and point defense. Ugh. And I was hoping for the unbidden.
Oh, what? So you could just missile them into oblivion?
No, because I already used, like, by default, a kinetic artillery / energy weapon build that counters the unbidden really hard.
I shouldn't have to tell you, but if Jumbo McNally's getting involved in something, you know
I tend to just go
bad.
missiles.
Jumbo University? Huh,
I
what
don't
a
usually do
racket.
missiles for late game. I
You
do
can
it
teach
for
Mr. McNally a lesson by signing my petition to have him fired into
We
space.
have another mole.
how nice of the galaxy to give me the Galactic Defense Fleet. Time to go and, like, delete it against the unbidden.
Of course. They're in there. With all the other students. And could be any one of them.
Kill them all.
Kill them all. As you command, my lord.
Yay, Cyberx Alpha's been found.
Hello, Delimited.
What's up,
Hello,
Delimited?
Mala.
Oh, gross, Mala.
I mean, at least he didn't call you cute.
He knows better.
Instead, he called you Bitey.
That's accurate, I am bitey.
Announcement. Healthy body, healthy mind. I came up with that.
I appreciate Mala being truthful for once. I know it's hard.
I mean, he also lied about one of the other parts of that.
Yeah, Gib's not cute.
Wow. I see how it is.
Funny.
Wow.
We're just gonna go ahead and grab Galactic Tender, just because I know one of these guys is gonna start shit eventually. It was entertaining, Mala. Yeah, nothing bad happened at all. It was very Very calm, very boring. A lot of RP stuff. Mala.
Mala, you continue to spout this lie about me and you will be banned.
Gib Gab chicken nuggies.
And you use an Avali icon whenever I go on VRC, so I'll call that accurate. That's encouraging.
Beaver from Bungle.
I got made a custodian and I just grabbed the fleet that it gave me and I slammed it against the admin and I managed to successfully kill a lot more fleet power than I thought. Oh, never mind, it's gonna die. They just swarmed it with like a few million fleet power, or a few 100,000 fleet power, and eventually it died. I took out like 4 fleets. I'll call it a win. Here's the second wave.
Alright, what rewards did I get? We had a 95% pass rate with 2 expelled and 2 failed. Well, the 2 expelled were moles, so meh. We got the King of Hearts Award. Campus of the Year Award. And that's it. Aww. Oh boy, that is so many things I need. Dark Art Teacher.
I think I'm gonna call it here.
Alright, good night.
Game was fun. Thanks for having me. I'm
Thanks
sure
for
I'll be
having
in here at some point later today.
Probably.
Yep.
You should be here for Agents of Reflection.
Maybe. If I'm... It depends on what time that is.
6 p.m.
I might be back home by then. I don't know.
Well, either way, for now, I hope you have a great night.
Yep.
Thanks for
it's
joining.
gonna be amazing because I'm going to sleep. And sleep is good.
Good time to relax and prepare for
Amen.
next year.
I like... Real quick, answer Geeman's questions, Zim.
You know what, Geeman? I think I have a tip goal for next week.
Yes! Let's go!
You know exactly what you were doing by us having Sim answer that.
Yes. And on this episode of Point and Laugh,
You ever
Ball
thought
is the
about
target.
Why they're so keen to teach us to read? Think about it. So
Alright.
we can read.
Good
what
night.
They write.
Good night.
Good
Makes
night.
so much sense when you think about it.
So I do hope that the existing tip goal gets completed before next Friday, because if it doesn't, well, it's going to be
They
implemented.
take the regular news
As
and turn
is.
every word into an anagram, breaking down the
That
code.
was mildly threatening.
You can't understand a thing.
It's supposed to be.
Yay. Death time.
Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet.
Also, Mala, if it makes you happy, don't worry. And you'll have company today because I fell asleep in session, so I'll also be watching it along probably soon.
Ah.
So if it serves you any comfort, we'll probably watching the session relatively similar times.
And Mala, no. The tip goals are in tiers. What the tiers determine is what variety of pirates are going to show up, as well as whether they are helpful or a hindrance.
You think I got into radio because of some fancy piece of paper? No, sir. Radio is pure jazz, man. It's alive and
Well,
unpredictable.
Mala,
You can't just learn it. Sure,
you think
can
I would
piss
give
and
that
bitch out
away
and
so
tell me which buttons
easily?
to press and when, and that's fine. But that's not radio. Not really. Here's another previously scheduled song that I didn't choose.
Frequently asked questions. I believe that smell is you.
Then you really do not know me very well at all, Mala.
Despite the rumors, the campus grounds are not a toilet.
I guess you guys will have to tip and find out.
Womp womp.
This is an academic institution. Our bathrooms are co-educational.
Fetch! Rawr! Rawr.
Woof, woof, bark, bark, woof, 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 bark, bark, woof, 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 bark, bark, bark.
Woof woof bark bark.
I'm about to go commit a little bit of genocide in Stellaris, but it's a good kind of genocide because it's against the bad guys.
Here's a question from Kevin and Flottering. Hey Harrison, what was your favorite project in school? Well, it's a good question, and you gotta remember, just because education is a
You can trust me
scam
because I'm the
doesn't mean
galactic
all
custodian.
those teachers are bad people. So, to answer your question, I used to like making the little volcano. It's pretty trippy to learn that volcanoes are full of water,
Not
right?
sure who you're talking about there, Fetch.
Safely. I don't know, but that's what
Probably
they
me
ought
saying
to
that
be teaching us,
it's a good kind of it's a good kind of genocide, you know.
Janitor required in bathroom.
Yeah, the problem with the Praetorian is that you kind of need to like really aggressively hit them early because the more they snowball out, the much worse they get. And the AI is completely unable to stop them right now, so I have to like just go in on them as soon as possible to prevent them from actually trying to snowball more. I mean, it's somewhat true for every crisis, but the Praetorian can be nasty if you just kind of let them go because it's really hard to actually kill all the cockroaches.
Despite the rumors, the campus grounds are not a toilet.
Wait, why do we need another teacher? We were good on teachers. What are you on about, game?
You always need more teachers.
Have fun, Mala.
Janitor required in bathroom.
I never went to college. At least, I don't remember going to college.
Okay, I need to cut them
Anyway,
off.
I turned out just fine. Join me at the same time tomorrow, when the day sun goes bye-bye and the spooky white beach ball
At least go
casts
beat up
down
the
its
AI.
dark
The AI is
favor on
annoying.
us all. Good night.
Not the ones that are my vassals. Screen. God, I wish I had jump drives. Oh god, that battle was really nasty. Ugh. Come on. One more big fleet. Just one more big fleet, and this aerospace is
I
mostly secure.
do not have the money for a lecture theater.
That sounds concerning. Why not?
I just don't.
I mean, the correct answer is to loan money, right?
Nobody asks questions. I believe that smell is you.
Okay, I'm gonna need to sell some stuff. Let me grab... Oh, that'll work.
Janitor required in bathroom.
Ah, here's some more things.
Oh no. That's bad.
What's oh no?
I managed to like... What do they use? They used to... Oh, they used to wormhole and like jumped in a fleet where I wasn't expecting. I hate that the Hive can use hyper relays. That's so dumb. Why? They're like the fleshy hive mind things. Why are they using like modern quote-unquote technology? Why?
To make you ask why they can do that?
Students are reminded that you
I don't
don't
like
have
that.
to ask to go to the toilet.
I do think it's probably bugged though, because they're using it like regardless of who owns it. And I don't think that's normally how it works. So it might just be a little janky.
Hey, got another lecture theater. Maki!
Oh my god, hello.
Hey.
Oh.
Hello, it's been forever!
I don't even think it's been a week, to be honest.
Forever!
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. I'm here. Hello, Gabby. Hello. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Are you having a good day?
Oh, we just had a great session.
Yes! Let's go!
Bathroom.
Go on, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Give me the rundown. What did I miss?
Well, not sure I want to do that with Gib Gab here, because he's wanting to watch it, and that would be spoilers.
Oh, I'll mute myself and start watching if anything.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll leave that for a little bit later. How about that?
That works. That works.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. My goodness. Do you know what? Today's been a great day so far.
Didn't you just wake up?
Yeah. That's the reason why. Nothing bad's happened.
Fair
Those
enough.
are dangerous words. Those are very dangerous words.
Yeah, I'm gonna like set myself on a little bit of a, what do you call it? Bad curse, bad luck curse or something, I don't know. Well,
Well-
sure, if it wasn't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all, right?
Welcome, Maki, to Wild Traditions, then.
To Wild Traditions, huh?
Yeah, it's the game I run.
Oh no, I'm being abducted. I had no choice in this matter. I'm just being put into a game.
You can be a Houndour.
Ooh, okay.
That's Houndour Siege.
Houndour. Houndour. It's literally like a hell dog.
I mean, you
Also,
can.
Hello, the limited. I see you in chat. Let's go. Hello.
You can eventually evolve, sure.
But that sounds like effort. I want to have all of the rewards with none of the effort, okay? I'm only joking.
You know how tabletop games work, though.
Good morning.
Of
You're
course I do,
listening
of
to
course I
Ricky
do.
Hawthorne
Yeah, I've definitely been conscripted.
on 2 Point
I've been
Radio.
conscripted.
You're listening to 2 Point Radio. This is Ricky Hawthorne. It's a few minutes past something. We'll check
So,
on those numbers
I'm enjoying
while
this
you
lovely
listen to some
cup of
music.
coffee, alright? I used the steamer on the side of my little coffee machine today.
You got a
And-
macchiato?
No, I didn't. I got myself a little cappuccino, right? I made myself a cappuccino. The problem is my steamer isn't working properly. I don't think the valve is correct. So it at the start, it just kind of squirted a whole bunch of water into the milk. And I was like, ah.
Ooh.
So I had to, fix the washer with some, like, presentation tweezers. Like, the little rubber seal? Yeah. Everybody, please be careful whenever you're using high-pressure equipment. And don't be silly like me and try to mend it when it's on.
Oh boy.
I'm going to recommend electrical safety to everyone involved in this chat.
Students should check in before trying to learn.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Maki.
recommend just win.
I'm gonna recommend Maki Cute.
It's the limited. It was pretty dangerous, and also, nah.
Yeah, huh?
Your Honor, my defender claims nah. Alright. Tell me about this game you're playing. Tell me about it. Like, how's it going? How's it going?
Oh, this is 2 Point Campus. I'm running a spy school now.
A spy school?
Yep.
James Bond here.
Hopefully.
Is James Bond a teacher? I'd love that. I'd love that for you.
Attention. Your finger is
I'm sure there's one that's based on him, but I'm just struggling to keep up, so I haven't been paying attention.
Oh my goodness. I like the idea that they promote that, yeah, you get teached by James Bond, but you just, like, open up the door and there it is. It's like, hello, baby. It's, what's his name? Austin Powers.
Oh, God.
First thing about spy school, baby. Gonna talk about subterfuge, baby. Oh my god.
We're gonna talk about how to get that laid, baby.
I'm gonna get laid, baby.
It's
What-
funny how your routines can change.
I
after
thought this
all
was
these years.
cryptocracy
Lately, I've been
101.
enjoying a bowl of hog logs in the
Yeah,
morning.
but we just go
It's
with
true
the
what
flow.
they say in the advert. There just wasn't enough pig in my morning.
I was
This
expecting to
next
learn
song is for the hog
coding
log
here.
lady.
All I've been doing is shooting targets. when will I, as a spy, need to shoot a gun?
What I've been doing here is shooting targets, and not that kind. Oh my.
Oh no. Oh no.
announcement. Healthy body, healthy mind. I came up with that.
The idea of like a spy in like fantasy and movies is completely different to what spies actually do in real life.
Yes. Yes, it is.
They're like, we need you to go out there, 007, and kill this guy who's very evil bad guy. Don't worry, I'll do that, Q. But in reality, the spy would be like, nah, it's above my pay grade. It's above my pay grade. Do you want me to find him? I'll find him. Then I'll send you that information to the other person in another part of this complex. That's not what I do.
And hey, if I am being paid, I am doing it. It's that simple.
Raijin! Mwah!
Hi.
Let's go!
Janitor required in
I picked up a doggo.
Oh.
Oh no! 128-point turn? Ha. I can do most turns in at least 20.
Raijin. Mwah.
So cute.
No, you.
What? How about this? No. Comma. Writing. How about that?
I can agree with this.
We can agree with this. You see this? Like, it's like a, the handshake emoji just like comes up. Can we do the handshake emoji in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
There we go. We can do the handshake emoji in the chat. That's
Chat, this is so poggers. Can we get handshake emojis?
this is so poggers.
Like, oh my god, it is so poggers.
You know what's really sad? It's like I have noticed that I started talking like I'm on stream outside of stream. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
welcome to
chat,
streamer
is
life.
this real?
Recently,
Chat.
while walking home, I was chased into a tree by a group of students barking like
How
dogs.
you doing, Raijin?
I went into a primal state of self-preservation, hissing at them like a feral cat. I've learned since that it was some kind of initiation for a society.
Well,
I
good to hear.
suppose now that I know
Mwah.
it was a joke, I can see the funny side. Ha, young people, eh? The terrifying scamps.
Though you are rather quiet. Oh my god. Maki, you drew Raijin? He's so cute!
I do as a little 30-minute challenge. Yes. Let's go.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Alright. So where is this thing here? Star rating increased. What does it mean? What does it mean?
I have earned a new rating. A new level up. Basically, it's, you know, you're supposed to go through each campus until you get to 3 stars.
Okay.
Got
It's
a little
called
distracted
Blunderground.
here. It's mightily impressive how you contort your skills to a new challenge, like one of your spies scrubbing through a vent. Still, you can't be all that incognito if I've heard about it. Here's to never hearing from you again. Cheers. Tarquin Foxbridge, Education Minister.
Janitor needed to
Yay,
upload toilets.
money.
Lovely.
Don't you laugh at me. I
I've
am
never seen a
broke.
vet that was large enough for a person to move through. I have. Oh yeah.
But have you never seen a Mogus SMH?
Oh my goodness.
Maki sus.
Gabby. I saw Gabby Van.
You saw nothing. Don't worry about it.
Gabby would never vent. That's too close to going to a elevator.
Exactly.
monitor required in
Guys, I've been bad.
Hmm?
I've been bad. You're not gonna believe this. I've had a commission waiting for like 3 days now, alright? And there's only like literally 15 minutes tops on this commission to do. But I've left it for 3 days for the sake of 15 minutes. I can't believe this. And I don't know why.
So Maki has been a bad
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah, I have been.
It started
Say
as
it can't
class
be so.
reunion and ended with them back in
It's
class.
such a disaster. I didn't mean it to be like this, I swear.
Everybody get in the shed! I can't revise anymore. My knees hurt.
Roderick Cushion is varsity freshman
Can't believe you've done
in
this.
immature
I
students.
can't believe you've done this. No, I know.
Our
I can just get this done, so
disappointment in you is exaggerating.
it's exaggerating.
Our lives are ruined.
The lives are ruined? Why? What happened?
How could you do this to us, Maki?
really get
How could this happen to me?
I
That's
thought
where this was
we
going,
were
wasn't it?
friends.
Alright. Hey, Zim. I'm gonna send you something and I want your live reaction.
Okay.
Send.
Adorable.
Yeah.
So have you barked at your
That-
parents again?
No. That was just.
What?
Don't ask, man. Furry struggles IRL. That's where I'm gonna end up one day. Just you wait. I'm gonna make it big, guys.
We were hanging out a little bit ago, and he got a call, and he comes back and it's like, my life is over. I barked at my parents.
Did you just respond to a call by barking at someone immediately?
You don't?
I respect that also.
You respect that as well. Respect the RP. Respect the RP. No.
Okay.
It was more like a. At the time, I was had a little bit of. I don't know. You know when you have these little bits of audio, I guess, from yourself that like just keeps going and going and going. It's like a. It just makes you feel a little bit better. Like I say, "Let's go" a lot, right? Like "Let's go," you know.
Mhm.
At the time, when I was annoyed, I was like, "Huff," like that, and it sounded a bit like barking. I was like, "Oh shit!" I just kind of went with it, and then...
Maki real life puppy confirmed.
oh, don't even.
Was there ever any doubt?
No, there really wasn't.
Zero doubt. Doubtless.
You're listening to Ricky Hawthorne on 2 Point Radio. Here's the weather. Things are
Now
looking
here's a hot
cold on the
take.
pointy
Raijin
mountains.
cute.
Okay.
You might want to wear a second pair of shoes. I suppose
Was there
these
ever
are
any doubt?
technically a
Let's be
second
real.
pair of shoes. What they lack in terms of providing
Raijin
warmth,
amazing.
they make up for by being a lot like very thin toboggans. Play
Raijin
that
lovely.
music.
Weren't you just commenting a few days ago on what an
Attention.
inflated ego I
Your
have?
finger is not a
You're
What?
not really helping this, Zim.
Am I
They both think
supposed
we
to
can do it
be?
at the same time.
I have never in my life thought of Raijin having an inflated ego. What's this about? Huh?
I mean, have you met him?
I have met him.
Hi.
That's the point.
I'm alright, I guess.
See?
He is incredible. Amazing, even. And incredibly lovable, too.
Mackie, what the heck is this?
I'm not very good at emotes, man. I thought I'd design one.
Assistant to the library. Thank you.
But I only want things that, like, are, like, what? You know? I only want things that are, like, what? It's like this. Many interpretations.
I mean, I love it, but also at the same time, it kind of gives me horror manga vibes or something. You're walking home at 3 a.m. and you see this. Do you pet the good boy?
100% yes.
You do?
If he eats me, oh well. Worth.
Worth.
I think that's, Mackie, I think that's the face you make when you're trying to lick a window. Dogs, like, just sometimes try and close.
The worst part is that I could actually see Maki trying to lick a window.
Why? What is that about?
You barked at your parents. Enough said.
Hold on. It's a really good video I have to hopefully find.
I see Zim is just like maxing out the value of this room. Not by actually designing it, but by putting as many paintings in any place that they can.
Yes, welcome to this game. Welcome to this entire series. Basically, all of the 2 Point games were designed for that.
Okay.
You're supposed to go in and, you know, throw a bunch of stuff all over the place.
Really? Really? Do you know, I somehow feel like you and I play things like Project Zoo completely differently. Oh, Project Zoo! Do you guys
Sam,
play
I
that?
sent you a YouTube short that...
Hello?
I didn't want to interrupt Mackie.
To be fair, he is a dog.
Okay, imagine I just saw that.
Well, Mackie was so excited about Project Zoo.
Yeah, Project Zoo is so cool. You guys seen Project Zoo? Like, I played that game. Like, sometimes it's just one of those games that you just say, hey, do you know what, today I'm gonna spend the entire day just on Project Zoo.
How many hours have you played Stellaris for today, there, Gip Gap?
1,361 minutes, but it counts the time I was asleep. How much is that in hours?
We are very much aware of that kind of
23 hours.
thing.
My poor PC.
Okay. Uh-oh. That's scary.
But yeah, Zim, I sent you a YouTube short that, like, that's what I'm thinking of when I see that emote from Mackie.
Alright. I'll have to watch it on my phone.
To watch it. It is funny though. But luckily, I'm not that breed of dog. Haha. I'm a Doberman. I'm big and menacing. Let's go!
Cute.
Yeah, so you do the same exact thing, but you look slightly more menacing while you do it.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Border collies often. Ryan, I got some bad news. My D&D game was cancelled last night. We were 2 players down, and I was going to start essentially the players to go and do a dungeon, right? So I didn't want to like leave like have the players out with, you know, the plot hook of the dungeon, right?
Okay.
So
now
next time this happens, just send the players that you do have present to Geralds.
The Drauds.
Yes, Geralds.
Where's Geralds? Huh?
Future players, just remember it was Ryden's fault.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Explain yourselves.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Just embrace the
Actually worry about
Geralds. Yeah, you probably should worry
Anyways.
about it.
I'm getting messages now on my side like, oh, I'm getting D&D withdrawal. Are people really addicted to tabletop RPGs? The answer is yes.
Geralds is like... It's basically an IKEA, but especially messed up.
It's just a furniture store. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, bad things keep happening to everyone that goes to the furniture store, so...
Hey, it's not my fault that they wandered off the path.
My goodness. So it is like IKEA. Bad things happen if you walk off the path.
Yeah.
Hello, Nightfire. Let's go.
Hey,
Let's go.
Nightfire.
Is you.
Although, let's be real, I've been to IKEA a couple of times now, right? I'm not going to walk through the entire showcase if I have a specific product in mind. I agree that IKEA can be an entire day out, but I'm not gonna waste my time. I am using those little doors, okay? And you can't stop me.
Just
Going
as
to the
long
back
as you
rooms.
remember that flying in Geralds is not recommended.
Why, is there ceiling fans or something? Animated ceiling fans that come spinning towards you?
After sharing an image of a spatula.
No, you wind up crash landing into a drawer for a very large Pokemon and getting stuck inside.
It's hard to say, but what is clear is that we'll be discussing it for days.
Some students have a long way
There's
to
something
travel.
objectively
Is that
funny
their problem
about
or ours?
putting people inside of a drawer, or inside of a locker, or just putting them into things. I don't know why, it's funny.
As Maki admits to being a bully.
I'm not a bully. I'm just very misunderstood.
So I remember that was literally like Vari's whole shtick in that like one shot just box enemies. My move is to put the enemy in the box. Get boxed, the nerd.
That's what a bully would say.
That was funny every
look-
time.
Well, Maki, takes one to know one.
Yeah, listen, try shoving these furries in a locker. Half of them like
Should
it
go
now.
to student support.
It's not the same, man. It's not the same. Do not condone bullying, but I do condone peer pressure. No! No. Delimited, no! Damn it. See, I'm like, no, I don't want to have quotes channels or anything in my Discord. I'm like, damn it. It's because of this, you know? People are gonna bring back the words that I said out of context, and I'm gonna be like, no. Because I say a lot of stuff out of context. And I'm such an easy target for this.
You already doomed yourself.
I can hear the typing. I can hear that furious typing.
You said something, it's getting quoted. Zim's literally an ambush predator with his quotes. Like, you say something and then you look back and like the eyes are staring out of the water as it jumps at you.
There you go. It will live
Quote
forever.
added. No. No. So sad, man. So sad.
Hey Mackie, if you want to be really confused, type in exclamation point quote 200.
Oh my gosh. Oh, quote 200.
Jiggles motherfuckerly at you. What? What? Fuckingly? Is that how you say that?
Jiggles motherfuckingly at you.
Jiggles motherfuckingly at you. There you go, there you go. I needed to hear it in order to say it, you know what I mean? Like, it was difficult in my head.
Was it Taldarius or was it Inja that said stares motherfuckingly at you in the first place?
I don't remember.
At some point, someone stated that, like, they were staring motherfuckingly at someone. Like, the way you would stare at someone and then say, you motherfucker, but just mashed it together into one sentence.
Hey, Mackie, if you want to be really confused, quote unquote. What?
That's the other fun part about quote 200.
The quote 200 has got, like, other quotes linking to quote 200?
Yeah, like 20 of them. So sometimes new people will come in and type in quote, and they'll get a quote that just refers to quote 200, and they'll just be confused, and then they'll type in quote 200 and just be more confused. It's great.
Everything just goes back to quote 200.
Careful what you say.
Quote 200.
The next quote is number 500.
Time to be completely unfunny forever now.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about them their taxes, everybody. Has everybody filled out their forms to HMRC? Oh wait.
No, I expected to what's the word for like delaying the thing unnecessarily? The thing that you do at school all the time with homework.
Procrastination.
Yeah, I was expecting to procrastinate more on it, but I did my taxes early, and now I'm like, huh. I was surprisingly easier, even if headache-inducing. I will proceed to do this like never again and procrastinate every year and regret it.
Problem is that for me, as a streamer, there is nothing simple about it.
Yeah. The taxes are kind of fucked.
Well, if it weren't for the 1099s that you have to send out, you could just dump all the paperwork on someone. And then they'd charge you an exorbitant price.
Yeah, I ain't got the money for that.
Have they asked about my recent income? Kind of, yes. Because like Twitch is an official source, they're like, hang on a second, you've got yourself another employer, and I'm like, yeah. That means I got 2 employers now. Let's go.
Such a good,
Are you going to
hard-working
have to
puppy.
deal with foreign taxes because of Twitch? I'm sorry. It's
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
okay.
I think only what I earn through Twitch automatically will come through and then have tax deducted from it. So, like,
Okay.
yeah, we have like a flat 22%, I think, taken off, and then there's the currency exchange, the fees, and then of course Twitch is cut as well. Let's go.
My guess in general would be because I know I've heard sometimes like Twitch be like a foreign tax thing. So my guess is that it probably just depends on either certain laws in the country or whatever Twitch like has as a status in that country. Like,
Yeah, I'm lucky that I'm in the UK, and I feel like the UK probably has better tax when it comes to this than, say, for example, down south in Ireland. Let's go.
Well, for the past several years, I've had to handle a foreign tax on some of my investments because of freaking Finland. And it took me a few years to like finally get rid of those stocks. This year should have been the last year that I have to deal with filing foreign taxes on my stocks. But it turns out to be an incredible pain to handle foreign taxes on stocks. It just unnecessarily adds so much time to the process.
Frequently asked questions. I believe
Hi,
that's
welcome to
all.
literally
Thank you.
everything about taxes.
I don't know.
I'm just a rough
Nice
gruff.
idea.
I don't pay taxes.
hi, welcome to Chili's.
Hello, Seda.
Oh my god.
We're
Rock
being...
roughs motherfuckingly at you.
I was about to say, we got the Rock Roughs here.
Oh, we're still missing Vector. It's not a rock rough party until Vector's here.
Listen, I
I would
can
love to
quickly...
hang out with Abby.
I can very quickly put some, like... I don't know, something at the end of my ears, and then pretend, you know, be a poser at the Rock Ruff party.
Congrats, Raijin. You're quote 500.
Nice. I knew that would be a good one.
Let's go! Let's go!
I mean, look, all this. I guess all this does is cement the.
Oh, look at that! Oh, let's go!
We'll just note this down on why rock ropes are the best.
What? Oh, are you okay, Mackie? Holy crap.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Let's go. I like that. Yeah. Woo. That's cool.
Am I missing something here?
Mackie really likes Comet holding a rose.
Back off, Maki. He's mine.
Wait, where did Jet get this gun?
Wait, there's
Graham?
a gun?
Grim was very willing to provide.
Well, one of the stickers I was going to draw for Jet was Jet with a knife, with a slightly deranged look, but maybe I'll do it with a gun instead.
Oh no, what have I done?
You know your crime. There is no going back now.
How are you feeling today, Sid?
Much better. I, for once, had a night where I wasn't coughing uncontrollably, so I finally can start paying back that sleep debt.
So, Seda, nice to have you here. About that sleep. That's all I had for that.
I was a bit concerned where this was going.
Oh my goodness. It is post the indoors time, and now hand sanitizer is everywhere. It is a pervasive force that you cannot stop.
Raijin, we need to show Maki Parks and Rec.
What's Parks and Rec?
I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm sure you know the overly positive guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
No.
He is Maki.
What's wrong with being positive?
I guess.
Let's go. Life is a little bit better, you
I-
know? Like when we just kind of bounce around, have a bit of fun, don't take it too seriously. You know?
I mean, I think Mackie's positive like this because he's like genuinely very happy with life, whereas that guy is overly positive because he's trying to compensate for a deep-rooted fear of death.
Oh,
Fair. Fair.
that sounds deep. That sounds very deep.
I don't know. He seems interested in it there, Raijin. I think there might be something deep-seated in the Maki.
Yeah. I don't know. I
There's
wish I was a
something
more
deep-seated,
complex
alright.
character.
What was that, Raijin?
Huh?
There's something deep-seated in Mackie, alright.
Oh my.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You buy all the 2-point games? Let's go.
Yes.
Museum came out recently. That's all I know about the 2-point games. Oh wait, no. That's not all I know. That's not all I know. Hold up a second. I believe I actually own one of these 2-point games, but I just haven't played it.
I don't know what is going on back there, but I'm just hearing Rex screaming about help me, help me, help me, help me. And something about someone being on the ground.
You should probably go check that out if somebody is screaming help me. That's not necessarily a thing that people scream.
He's streaming.
Oh, he's streaming?
Who's that?
He's streaming Repo. That is very much a game that, you know, I can see him shouting that about.
That sounded like a lot of context.
It's a horror game.
I don't know. I've never played Repo. I didn't enjoy, what was it called? Oh, that other one.
Lethal Company?
Lethal Company, thank you.
You and me both.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fun for like 5 minutes and stuff, but I kind of dropped it and I was like, I don't really want to play it. But I know that my friend group definitely wanted to continue playing it, and I just kind of... I didn't. Isn't too much fun to watch either. Well, there you go. I'm looking, I'm observing.
But Ren's not awake right now. What was that?
You get money from rent?
From rent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Rental? Oh my goodness. It's like university for real.
Yeah, they are, you know, the students that are living on campus in the dormitories.
I can't wait for you to artificially suppress. Maybe we shouldn't. Alright. I've been playing Project Zoo, says the limited. Yes, of course I've been playing Project Zoo. I like to make my own little buildings in that game. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's fun.
I don't know that game. Do you mean Planet Zoo?
Yeah, Planet Zoo. Thank you. Planet Zoo is the game I'm thinking about.
Yes, very fun
Zoo.
game. I enjoy it. Except for the capybaras.
Except for the capybaras. Well, why the capybaras?
So many capybaras. They wouldn't stop breeding.
You can set it.
They just kept coming. There was no end to them. There was no end to the madness. No safety. No rescue. No life.
Mwah.
Mwah!
Huh?
What's up?
Why is it not letting you put the bed there?
I have no idea, so I give up.
In Dwarf Fortress, my animal tamer got mauled to death when they entered the capybara enclosure. Yeah, that's one of the most believable stories of Dwarf Fortress. Everything is deadly if there's enough of them.
Yeah, that's just kind of Dwarf Fortress itself. Say it cute.
Say that cute.
Did I already ask what you were up to, Seda?
I wanted to do art. My brain said no to art, so we're just doing some more frame.
That's right.
Oh my goodness, you're doing art. You're doing art. Let's go. Well, you should be doing art. Well, you should be doing art. I love art.
But I did have I did have a good late night epiphany. So one of the pieces I was coloring in, I'm going to change up how I did it, and I think it's going to be all the better for it.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Raijin.
Again, another stolen.
What?
Everybody steals my boyfriend. But he is my precious. I don't know, I'm tired.
Alright.
Understandable.
So, Seda.
Mhm.
I see that you are a part-time werewolf, but also a part-time noodle dragon. And
Mhm.
I really enjoy the idea of having a noodle dragon, like a Chinese or Asian dragon, as a persona. I quite like that. I think that's a really nice aesthetic. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm looking at your profile picture and I'm like, that's a cool profile picture.
Thank you. Actually, you do you want to see the full thing?
I was gonna ask. Oh yeah, please, pretty please.
Because actually, give me I'm still
Bless you.
recovering. Allow me to. Once I find it.
And another one gone, another one gone. Another one bites the dust.
I was about to start singing with you,
I
Zim.
don't think Seda wants to romance the comic. I think it's fine.
No. Nothing is fine. Life is nothing but
you're
endless torment.
Rawr.
But you are the fine one. Mwah. But all is still lost.
There you go. Your DMs have been invaded.
You invaded my DMs.
Good luck,
Uh-oh.
Maggie.
Good luck, Mackie. Why good luck, Mackie?
I think you mean good luck, Seda.
Oh, yes, Seda. Yes.
Have
Oh,
fun
this is so
waking
cute.
up to, 50 messages from Maki. Mostly exclamation points.
No, it's not. It's not mostly exclamation. Like, it is. It is. It's because I went through a period of my life where I spammed everything, like to show my excitement. And then everyone was like, "Oh no, that's bottom speech." So I try not to do it as much, but I just have that urge to like spam something, so I'm like exclamation mark several times. Okay. All right, it's my own machoism getting to my head.
That. Oh my god.
What? What?
I'm adding that as a quote.
That's a lot of a thing to add to a quote, dude.
Yeah, you've got to be careful about quoting Mackie. You'll just keep writing essays.
Yeah.
And that last one's Zim's fault.
My goodness.
I went through a phase of spamming everything, but people told me it was bottom speak. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just, let's be real, I was insecure about my own sexuality. So I was like, no, I'm not a bottom. So I would done those exclamation marks. The truth is, nobody actually cares. Oh my god, I can't believe it.
So this is a
What?
This might be a bit of a personal question, but I'm curious, Mackie.
Mhm.
You've talked about you only recently became a furry, like 2-ish years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that coincide with your sexuality?
No.
Like, did it take you a while before you came out, or what?
So, I was what 26 when I came out as gay to everybody, but I was kind of experimenting there for like about 24, I'd say 24, 25. So not necessarily no, and like I'm 29 now, like well going to be 29. So yeah, I would say that I was like dating dating girls and all of that, but there was a very obvious point in a relationship that you get to, all right? Usually relatively early on, and I was unable to, you know,
Perform?
So that's kind of exactly. And there's something kind of sad about being like a 22-year-old man, like having to pop Viagra to get the job done, and it was just like trying to, get things like it's just to keep the relationship,
Sir Nigel Bickleworth.
Yeah, I know that took a very sad turn, but like, no, I came through after I came out.
And lab rats of 2 Point County. Listeners may remember that I don't like
Yeah, we're just sexier.
universities because they're not old.
Makes sense.
And therefore not any good. If they were,
I'm gonna be honest. I
been
think
a
it was
long
more
time
like
ago.
the openness
That's
that
called
people
logic,
had about that.
students. Though I
You
don't
know, like,
suppose you'd know.
Yeah, it's like the openness about topics, the openness about how people feel, and just generally people being a vibe. Like everyone's so friendly.
No, I think you actually kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit. Like by and large, the furry community is very casual, non-judgmental, and they're very welcoming. So it's basically like the perfect environment to like really explore who you are, and kind of like fast track, what probably would have taken years to realize.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's worth it. Like the furry fandom is pretty good, guys. Pretty good. Definitely has its rough spots.
I mean, every community does.
Every community. I was about to say that.
Yeah, like the
Like-
existence of me in it is really dragging it down.
Some students have a long way to travel.
It's the what?
Their problem or ours?
I think you meant to say you're dragging it down.
But
Let's go.
Well, hello,
That's-
Kuroy.
I mean,
let's go.
honestly, I can relate because like, even back in like 2022, I'd say I wouldn't even have considered myself a furry, and it took a little bit of it took a hot minute. It was one of those like.
I find that kind of stuff interesting because for me, like, I basically identified as a furry when I was like 12. And even before I was 12, I was like, I really like Bugs Bunny and Tails and Sonic way more than any other character. Why is that?
I'm the same way there. I spent so much time trying to figure out... when my dad first showed me, D&D, I spent so much time trying to figure out how I could pull off playing a werewolf.
Haha.
Okay,
Sounds
I will
about
come
right.
back to that. What? Game!
I'm not sure for me, like, what it was. I just never, like, to some extent wanted to, like, be a furry, if that makes sense. I don't know if it was, like, a lot of negative connotations around it or, like, misconceptions around it as well, but, like, I was always like, nah. I mean, I like ponies, but I don't like furry. Eh. And at some point, it just kind of, like, I like the people I was hanging around. People were very kind, very nice, and I began to think more about it, and I was like, I guess yeah.
I mean, like, I outright, I was a furry before
our county's recent
I
fascination
found my
with opening
sexuality.
pop-up universities on a
Let's
weekly
go.
basis. But it seems appropriate to commemorate the opening of yet another fun time
You know what
house
is,
of
you know what
real
is
good learning.
interesting though?
I thought we'd
Like,
talk about the past.
I have found myself
memories
very
and nostalgia.
sheltered from like
feelings
the
that
internet
things
culture and
used to be
online
in
stuff.
some
Don't get me wrong, there was
incalculable
memes and there was
and
group chats and stuff,
all-encompassing
but
sense,
for the most
better.
part, I spent
But
most of my
why do
time
you feel that way? Are
like
we
outside
wearing
or like outside of the house.
rose-tinted glasses?
So whenever
Perhaps
certain events
if
around the
everything
world
used to
kind
be
of pushed me
better.
towards being
Probably.
indoors, that's kind of when I found myself in these like
Student
spaces.
requests are often heard. but
So
not
I
always
wonder, do you
listened
guys
to.
feel like the same way? Do you feel like maybe like the great indoors time of 2020 was like a great time for you to discover like, I don't know, a love for video games or whatever?
Not much changed for me during 2020. For me, I was still working. I was still, going about day-to-day life. It was just easier because I didn't have to deal with as many people. I was, working security. But, yeah, not much changed.
Yeah, like for me, like I kind of really entered the furry fandom around like 2017, so like
Janitors needed to collect litter.
the only really thing that like the pandemic kicked off was me streaming actually. Just because I was actually planning to go on a trip, and then it was like, well, I can't go on this trip. I might as well buy a PC. But I was actually going to add on to like the earlier parts there, like my kind of journey to the fandom was kind of like a kind of always like scooting along the orbit, but like never entering, because like my first exposure was that episode. And you can imagine for a 4th grader, that being your first introduction to the fandom, it kind of just like leaves a bit of a negative imprint. And if you don't know what that episode is, just Google that episode right now.
Students with medical issues should go to
You will
the
have
The
a laugh.
episode of what?
Oh, literally, just do me a favor right now. Just go to Google and just type in that episode.
Is CSI?
Yep. 2003's episode of CSI Fur and Loathing.
I guess I had a very different exposure to the furry fandom, I guess.
Yeah, but I think for me, having that be the first imprint, and then like I went to a Catholic school, up until like when I graduated high school, so like very sheltered and rigid. But I found like, you know, hey, every like late 90s, early 2000s cartoon had that one TF episode in it. And it's like, huh, Batman actually becoming a bat, that's kind of cool. Tiger Man, like, that is actually kind of wicked. Ooh, werewolves are cool, tigers are cool. And it was kind of only when I went away to university after graduating, and just like, hell, I don't have to go to church every week. This is great. And just having that extra independence there, and meeting a group of friends that like helped me branch out of my shell a little bit. But I was more for like being a gamer. But it was only until like I watched this like trailer, I'm like, Armello looks like a fun game, and like I couldn't really put on why, like, you know, just like the anthropomorphic characters drew me in. And I got gifted the game and ended up joining their Discord server, and that's where I met wonderful beings like my partner Abby. And him and a couple others basically just like, they basically just got the comically long cane and they were just like, we're dragging you in. And I think basically in like the spans of 6 months I was furry.
Yeah.
Like I had just those little bits of influences of like child cartoons. I saw TF content on the internet that seemed really cool, and then just like, we're dragging you in. It was fantastic. And it was kind of like that 6 month period as well. It was kind of like about the same time where it was like, I went from like being unsure of like my sexuality to like, yeah, no, I am gay. So like the furrification kind of happened, you know, in tandem with, you know, me realizing how gay I was, which is I guess the two are intrinsically linked at this point.
Yeah, no matter which way you go in this fandom, you can't really escape the exceptionally large male and male-to-male relationship stuff that goes on in this place. It is honestly very welcoming, like for people like ourselves who are, you know, very much men admirers, you know.
But I'm actually just like,
I will say, despite immediate appearances in a lot of like smaller groups, on a grander scale, like at bigger furcons, they usually take you know, surveys and statistics of various things about gender stuff and sexuality within the fandom. And surprisingly, bisexuality is, you know, more common than, you know, just homosexuality. Though straightness is kind of the minority for sure. And there is a pretty large amount of females, but they just kind of exist in sort of different spheres from where a lot of the men tend to float. Like if you go to a furry con, you'll see a lot of women there. It's definitely much closer to neutral than immediate appearances might be.
That's interesting. Because I've never been to like a furcon per se. I'm going just off it. Oh my goodness, there was a online report on furries. People, messaging, but then I suppose like,
Anecdotally, I would say there's like the biggest female contingency I typically see are like late teenagers that are like really into it for sort of like not quite fashion, but something close to fashion, and the overall acceptance of the crafting and artistic elements. If you are a big Tumblr user, you probably interacted with more female furries than like in a lot of other spaces. Uh, and then there's also the element that furry does cover like a lot of umbrellas. There are a lot of subcultures within furry too. Like there's warrior cats fandoms, a ton of them. And I would say that furry adjacent at the very least, if not outright furry, because that's, a lot of people like to role play as being cats and those sort of scenes. There's a lot of Pokemon spaces that are like absolutely furry adjacent or furry, even if they don't interact with the quote unquote immediate furry community. Like, if you think of the furry community as the people who go to Fur Affinity and look at naughty stuff on Fur Affinity, you're missing a lot of furries with that definition.
But I think kind of like jumping on that, it's a lot of yeah, I think as you said, it's a huge umbrella. Like for some people, they will really like Wario cats or Pokemon, for example, but don't necessarily um consider themselves a furry. You know, like you can't like take such a hard line stance as like, oh, you have a mystery dungeon, oh, see, you're a furry. Like, no, that's like an absolutely terrible take because um a big portion of it is also just how one relates to the community. Um, but it's very much like a Venn diagram. Like you can have a lot of overlap for sure, but it's never a hard stance. Like, and I'm also kind of picking up a little bit on like what's happening in chat. Like labels can be useful, but they can also be quite dangerous. Like my initial gaming.
I will definitely agree on that about the labels. I know I had a friend years ago who he was tormenting himself trying to figure out whether he was gay, ace, bi, etc., etc. He couldn't figure it out, but he felt like he had to have a label, and I'm like, no, you don't.
I mean, the way I see things is that there's two things. First of all, like labels can be helpful or hurtful depending upon who they're coming from. Like my initial group of gaming friends, I was, at that point I was in the phase of I really like wolves and I like werewolves. Um, Being called a furry was used in a more of a mocking, group kind of joke kind of sense. Um, but that was definitely a hesitation for me joining. But the other thing labels can be useful for though is they are not an assignment, but they can be a map. Like, one that I kind of like to jump to a lot is demisexual. Which for those that aren't aware of demisexuality, basically sexual attraction relies on an emotional connection. you know the person for a while, and you deeply understand them. That's the criteria for attraction. You know, does that cover everyone? No, but it can be a good guide for people. So you don't have to be like, I have to get the label 100% right, but hey, maybe I'm like on this side of like the asexual umbrella.
Not to interrupt too much, I think, Gabby, were you gonna ask me something?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was gonna note. I just forgot for a moment that, like, real quick. I found it super interesting to see what you were talking about with the gender diversity in the fandom, because like I have a lot of friends who are women, and I know at least a couple of them have commented that they often stray away from furry spaces because there are a lot of very toxic gay people who do not welcome them into the fandom, and that it was like a huge turnoff for them to like be in the fandom. And like literally the most like common complaint I heard from them was being referred to as like female instead of like women in a very derogatory manner, not like in a casual manner, just like in an explicitly derogatory, dehumanizing one. And I was like, oh god. I mean, I fully understand it, but also like that's one of those, because you mentioned like as a positive, and I was like, it's kind of interesting how like two different people, that's like an entirely different perspective.
On that front, it's a plague that is outside of the gay slash furry fandom. You know, gays and furries and such. It's just, for straight guys, it's, instead of referring to them as woman or such, it's hey baby or chick or other things like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a different thing, but
Well,
it is
different.
still similar and it is very much wrong.
I think the particular thing that I remember bothering at least one of them was that like basically the way to put it, like gay people, especially like gay men, should know better than to like be like this towards other minority groups within a broad group, because like yeah, you've got like queer women joining a space and it's like, oh yeah, be mean towards them basically and exclusionary, when one of the things about the furry fandom that was like, at least to me, like I found great, is the acceptance and like niceness. And when I heard that, I was like, really? It's like I have not experienced that at all myself, but like multiple people like came to me with that, like, yeah, that happened, like absolutely. And I was like, huh, I don't know if it's gotten better in recent years, maybe, or if it's like Raijin says, like it depends on which spaces you frequent, but
It just depends on what spaces you frequent. And I'm not going to like, obviously, I'm not going to presume anything about their lived experiences. I have personally interacted with toxic furries myself. And in fact, like, even though I've considered myself a furry for a long time, it wasn't until relatively recent that I actually participated in communities in large. I mostly just kept to myself. Um, but the main thing I've observed, and this is kind of anecdotal, I don't really have much to back this up, but I would say there's a surprisingly huge overlap between people that watch a lot of anime, people that play a lot of video games, and people who are furries. And when you get to that center point of that Venn diagram, you're getting to people who spend a lot of time online, and in particular, it's more likely that they've never really learned how to actually be respectful to others, um, especially others who are not in their in group, people who are in their out group. So like for example, in that Venn diagram, there's probably a lot of them who have frequented 4chan and post on 4chan unironically and like believe things like that. Um, I can't really provide like necessarily strict proof. I'm just saying this as someone who has been a denizen of the internet for a long, long time. if you meet someone who watches a lot of anime, plays a lot of video games, and is a furry, then they have a lot of time on their hands that isn't spent on being socially well adjusted.
Do you know,
Probably not wrong, yeah.
I think I can actually apply credence to what you say, Rajan, because, like, I'm gonna be real with you. I most of my life right now is online, okay? Like, I was, I used to go out and be very social, right? I was doing sports, and I knew a healthy mix of different people, from all walks of life. But now, I do almost exclusively operate in male spaces. So I guess when I was saying about, oh yeah, I've only ever seen really men, it's because I only ever really interact with men now. So it'll be curious, like, to find, like, I can see how what you say is true. Do you know what I mean? So I've experienced it in a way. But not necessarily.
There's that, and also like you had an upbringing that was very focused on team sports, which means you've had to interact and cooperate with others, and you've had to rely on others, and you've had to push past those differences, not even getting into like other social situations that you've been in. Or to take myself for example, as an example, I interact with all kinds of people as part of my job. So that does provide a lot more perspective to me. It is like, it's not like I'm saying that if you hit the center of that Venn diagram, you're necessarily going to be a horrible person. It's just
no.
There's a higher comorbidity.
Oh my goodness, that's a fancy word. That's a fancy word. It's too early in the morning for fancy words like that, Rajan. Comorbidity? Was that the word?
It doesn't matter.
Comorbidity, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So if you have one problem, and that one problem can cause another problem, then that's a comorbidity.
Oh my goodness.
That's a very easy one. It's kind of like ADHD and depression.
You know, I learned a new word today.
Yeah, I learned a new word today. Also, hello! Bala! Good to see you. Hello. Let's go! But yeah.
But I think one of the overall things to kind of definitely just keep in mind, though, is we kind of said it earlier. Every community is going to have the bad apples, the weird apples, like like labels are good for a map, but it's important not to generalize people because everyone is different. Everyone has a different, as Rajan said, lived experience. And the ultimate thing at the end of the day is to keep on treating everyone with respect, or at least the respect they deserve, and call out the bad apples. Because, it just takes one person to ruin another's con experience. But the importance is to make sure that that person who caused a bad experience, doesn't get to cause it again.
Yeah. So like that's why I think it's really important to just like consider these subcultures, whether you want to call them furry or not. Like, I know there's a huge portion of like the Pokemon community that absolutely would not call themselves furry, but I would still say that's very furry adjacent.
I mean, I can relate. That was me like a few years ago. It's like, yeah, I like ponies, I like Pokemon, I love all that, but like, I'm not a furry.
I would love to see the
My
Venn
Little Pony.
diagram.
My days on the university tennis team.
You finish up. Sorry, I cut you off.
Except that the mere sound of our carved shoes were enough
You
to cause
first.
eruptions of rosy cheeks and giggling on campus.
My Little Pony was a huge
Although
one.
some
Undertale's a
believe it
huge
had
one.
something
Five
to
Nights
do
at
with
Freddy's a
our
huge one.
shorts.
Like, there's a lot of these culture groups that form over things that could be called furry, but they're not necessarily participating in the furry community at large. I personally just kind of put it under a broader umbrella where I just kind of consider it as part of the whole gestalt of the experience. Because like if you're into any of those, you're into it for very similar reasons that I'm into anthros, or that Sada's into werewolves, or so on and so on. Just because our communities don't necessarily intersect and interact with each other doesn't necessarily mean that we are entirely separate communities at the broadest sense.
Yeah, I suppose, like, if I were to bring it to like I don't want to say real life because this is real life, but the way you can have like the overarching term of European, and then within European you've kind of got like, Irish, French, German, whatever. So it's kind of like that, and then in for example, in the Irish group you got like the Ulster Scots, there's a whole bunch of stuff, right? It keeps going further down and down and down. If we zoom all the way out to the European standard, that's furry. Even if your first thing isn't to say, oh yeah, well, I'm Irish, I'm still part of the European thing, right? Even if it's not what I choose to identify with.
By making that comparison, you've compared me to Malite. I've never felt so insulted in my life. SMH my head.
What were you gonna say, Seda?
I was gonna make the joke of, I would love to see the Venn diagram of people who really love the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon franchise and those who are furry.
I would love to see that too.
Okay. So, I do have a very funny story about this. There's some of you should probably know about this. There's a forum website called Something Awful that kind of sort of spawned as an offshoot of 4chan way back in the day. And in these early days, the hatred and disgust held towards furries was much higher than it is these days. And both Something Awful and 4chan had a very deep-seated disgust for furries. But I find this funny because Something Awful is kind of where Let's Plays really kind of originated from, and one of the very earliest ones was a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Let's Play. Except the guy who was doing it was also kind of turning it into his own personal fanfiction, as if he was actively teleported into this world, as opposed to like just, selling it straight, like this is how it is. It was basically a fanfiction that was going alongside screenshots of the game. And there was an entire romance subplot and everything to it. And it was really funny to me because, like, when I was reading through it, I was like, oh, this is furry as hell. But the Something Awful community, which at the time still kind of hated furries, was just, like, loving it. Because it wasn't sold as a furry on the 10.
I want to see the correlation between people who played Khajiit in Skyrim becoming furries later on in life. Because that was me. The Elder Scrolls guys.
And to go back to an earlier subject, what Seda was saying about his experience of getting into it, one thing that I've mentioned this before, one thing I found really funny about my own furry experience is I have been so close to the TF stuff for so long, but I never really thought much about it until I met Zim. And then afterwards I was like, huh, wow, TF sure is everywhere, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, that's really funny you mention it, because, like, oh my god. The other day I kind of went on, like, you know, like when you just remember old things and you go like, huh. I was like having, I think it was like a few months ago I was hanging out with Dragon, and I remembered when I was a kid, like probably like maybe 10 years old at most, is probably when I found some of the first like furry art stuff online. And I had at that point in my life just like a really big thing for TF, like, oh yeah, I would love to get TF'd into a Pokemon, I'd love to get TF'd into this or into that, like I would love to wake up as this or that, right? And I remember really browsing TF art before I even really understood the concept. And for some reason, it always veered back to like very furry adjacent stuff. It was always like Pokemon or Digimon or MLP stuff or a really suspiciously furry character at some point. And I just had that like moment of like, huh. That was back before I could like actually remember what websites I was even looking at.
On my most recent visit, however, I
The things
was
that go back to the
horrified
past.
to find that my dear cobbler had been replaced with an establishment by the name of the Shoe Zoo. But can one truly describe their collection of footwear
But it still
as
wasn't a furry.
menagerie without
Yeah.
possessing a single pair
Yeah,
of
like I
brogues?
talked to
I
Zen
think
about this
not.
at one point, because I used to love the Legend of Zelda series. I played all of the games up until some of the recent stuff. And after meeting Zim, I was thinking on it, and I was like, wow, almost all the Zelda games after like the Super Nintendo have a tendency to involve Link turning into an animal of some type.
I mean, they did that in Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo.
So A Link to the Past, you had the bunny.
Admittedly, my first furry crush.
Link's very adorable. Oh yeah, Disney's Robin Hood got a whole lot of people goodery.
I mean, Disney got at least 2 really good shots in there with Robin Hood, and then coming back a couple decades later with Zootopia.
The early Disney stuff definitely helped me, but
Actually, may I interrupt you
for
very
me
quickly?
it was definitely
Oh, actually, no, sorry, you continue.
Sure.
Did I miss something there? Again?
Two people too polite. That's what's happening. Like,
Oh,
no,
oh,
you
oh,
go.
oh,
No, you
Seda,
go.
Seda, your
Yeah.
Canadian is showing.
Ah.
I'm sorry, okay? Look, I was gonna sneakily like slide in something, then I realized that Raijin had something longer to say, so I'm like, actually, no, you go ahead, I'll hold up off till later, and then I think we're both just like, you speak, no, you speak.
Like
Well,
exact
the
opposite of when
problem
two
is,
paths collide.
because of my internet, if anyone tells me to go first, by the time that I actually said that, it's probably already been 10 seconds since you said that. So I'm just going to be sitting here like, alright, should I actually start going? Because by the time you hear me, it's going to be another 10 seconds, and you might have just like given up and started talking by then.
It's not 10 seconds, maybe
Oh,
like a second or so.
So let's just do this way. I'll just say my quick bit first, and then you speak, Raijin. Because I was gonna say, I even remember, around Zootopia's release, they had like, you know, the whole Zootopia coloring book, and I remember distinctly had like that one blank spot being like, "Oh yeah, draw how you imagine yourself as a citizen of Zootopia." Like, you do realize what you're doing, Disney.
Remember the start of the show?
Oh, they literally were marketing directly to furries with that movie. They knew 100% what they were doing.
And that was my quick bit. My apologies for interrupting you, Raijin.
Things used to be better, dear listeners. How could you know?
Rockruff.
Well,
Rockruff.
my show is over. They can't be getting better.
Rockruff's motherfuckingly at you.
Rockruff's academically at you.
Scandalous.
Oh, Kurai, the reason why humans are not furries is because they don't have fur.
Janitor required in bathroom.
Why is this not working?
Me on my way to disprove your thesis by making a human OC for furry.
Oh my goodness, this is where people are gonna be doing the whole, who's that, like, smart guy from ancient Greece who was like, oh, I'm gonna take all the feathers out of a chicken, like, behold a human!
Behold a man. That feels like either Plato or Socrates kind of deal.
I don't know, Socrates sounds like a person I know. These are fleshies. Yeah.
50-50 as to which one it was.
Wasn't Socrates like the guy who
What do you
invented
think?
philosophy by asking why 1,000,000 times, like an annoying toddler?
What do you think was Socrates' persona?
I was gonna say like he had probably a scaly like snake because I associated poison with snakes, and I was like, oh, hang on a second, that's probably really daft to like represent somebody's persona as the means of their death.
I'm actually wrong. We were kind of close, but we were wrong. So basically, when Plato was giving Socrates' definition of man as featherless bypass, Diogenes of Sinople, another Greek philosopher, basically famously plucked a chicken and brought it into Plato's Academy and just challenged his definition of a man.
Oh, it's Diogenes. Okay,
Yeah.
that guy is actually cool as hell. Absolutely balmy guy. He was like, you know, here on the internet there was a little phase where everyone was like, reject modernity, return to monkey. That was kind of like his stick, right? He was like really rude and really blah blah blah, but he done it in such a way that people believed that he was a great philosopher. There was a great story where Alexander the Great came to teach or like learn under the great Diogenes for his, you know, like crazy like philosophy. But whenever he saw the great king Alexander, you know, conqueror of the known world at the time, the first thing Diogenes tells him is like, can you move out of the way? You're blocking my sunlight. He's like, oh, I don't have a house. I don't need a house. I don't have any, like, friends. I don't need friends. I quite like dogs, okay? Yeah. And he looked at one day, he only had, like, a bowl for begging. And then he looked over at a dog and saw that the dog was drinking out of a puddle. And Diogenes was like, mate, what am I doing with this bowl? We have perfectly good puddles on the floor.
Average Greek philosopher, I swear.
Man, those guys were Barbie.
I respect hustle.
I don't know too much about philosophy, but I only know like the funny stories. Anyways, before we get too deep into philosophy, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to disappoint you all.
Are you gonna go start your stream?
I'm not gonna go. I was gonna stream a little bit today, but I want to get this commission part thing done. I've just sat here and yapped. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're very good at barking.
That's my thing. I talk, I yap, and I draw. Those are the things I do.
And you bark at your parents.
Fuck yeah, draw.
Sorry, what was that? What was that, Roger?
If you don't like the staff room, try getting back to
I don't think Raijin said anything.
Oh. No? I must have missed.
It may have been me because I was just saying talk yap draw. Talk yap draw.
Okay, Aptra.
Talk yap draw.
Oh, right. What is Talkie Aptra?
Oh my goodness.
What do? You talk, you yap, you draw.
Oh my goodness. I am slow today, okay? I'm slow on the update today. It is 9:05 in the morning. I have been up for like 2.5 hours and I've done nothing. I need to get productive, guys. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So, I'm gonna head out, guys. And I'll catch you guys later. Alright, have a good rest of your stream. See you soon. Yeah, yeah.
Maki. Hey.
I'm listening.
You're a cutie.
needed in dormitory.
Let's go. Let's go! Thank you. But I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
I regret my life choices.
Which one's this time?
Why did I do all the crises?
Because you're a masochist?
That's beside the point.
But that is the point.
No.
I reject your point and substitute my own.
I reject your stinky. Take a shower.
Felicity Bellbottom
okay.
speaking for you, the students, in every sense. On
But I would say that they count as furry, because furry is just kind of shorthand for anthropomorphic or zoomorphic.
After this.
So, like, the entire point is taking on animalistic traits. Now, they're not going to be very popular because a lot of people don't find them attractive conventionally.
I actually do know 2 Sphinx cats.
Yeah, but the cats are much more likely than cows and pigs.
Students are
Though
I know Werny
I
likes
have
being
been
a boar,
introduced
but...
lately to cow TF. Thanks to probably Werny. Or maybe it was Seda.
Cow TF is definitely a popular one. I don't know... No, actually, I do know one person that has a cow Sona. But yeah,
Seda,
cow TF is a
explain
popular.
the appeal of cow TF in surprising detail.
So on that note, thank you everybody for joining. Hey there, Lapis.
Real quick, what is?
Holy crap! Where did time go? I was joking about that, and then I looked at the time, and I'm like, "Oh crap! I was supposed to end an hour ago."
So thanks for watching, everyone.
Oh yes, Tarns are fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, what?
Yeah, Raijin, really quick, Raijin. Furry is very simple. If I want to become that, I consider it furry.
I know when I first joined the fandom, there was somebody that literally was just a peach. That was their Sona.
Like the fruit?
Yes.
The character.
The fruit.
I feel like I'd rather be a mango. No, I hate mangoes.
Granted, said peach had we're just going to call it parts.
Maybe you should end the stream before you get demonetized.
That was all I was going to say on that. But, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, this is where I'm going to be calling this, the stream here. So, thank you everybody for joining us today for 2 Point Campus. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more there on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It is one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, picking up packs of cards to stream loots, grabbing some merch over at zgfgaming.store, or commissioning one of the artists that I manage for. Their details are over at zgf.art. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Bye.
Fuck, bro.